Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Franklin Community High School here for our coverage of the 2018 Hall of Fame Classic here on the Indiana Swimming YouTube channel. As we are underway with our first event, the women's 400-yard medley relay. I'm Eric Eaton, along with the Executive Director of Indiana Swimming, Tony Young, as we just concluded Heat 3 of time finals for the girls' 400-yard medley relay, and it looks like taking first place in the third and final heat was Franklin Community High School with the time of 3:58.75. And Tony, we're going to see some great swimming here today at the Indiana High School here at the Hall of Fame Classic. We're going to move right into our next event here. So we may have to make a brief pause or two here while they do some introductions, but we'll roll right into the next event 2, men's 400-yard medley relay. Heat 3 of time finals. In lane 3, we're going to have Greenfield Central B, led off by Carter Hujak. This is the men's 400-yard medley relay. Heat 3. In lane 4, we have West Lafayette B, led off by Braden Reedy. And in lane 5, Greencastle B, led off by Vincent Martoglio. So we've got 4 individuals swimming 100 yards each. We'll start with the backstrokers here. And we're underway, event 2 here at the 2018 Hall of Fame, Indiana High School Hall of Fame Classic here from Franklin Community High School. Once again, Eric Eaton with you, along with the Executive Director of Indiana Swimming, Tony Young, here on the Indiana Swimming YouTube channel. Participating teams: Concord High School, coached by Tom Johnson; Floyd Central High School, coached by Joe Perkins; Greencastle High School, coached by Kent Menzel; Plainfield High School, coached by Scott Johnson; Zionsville High School, coached by Scott Cobley; Chesterton High School, coached by Kevin Kinnell; Franklin Community High School, the host, coached by Zach DeWitt; and Greenfield Central High School, their girls coach is Emily Logan, and boys coach is Mark Logan. And as we set up the race we're watching right now, this is Heat 1, time finals, men's 400-yard medley relay. And in lane 3, which is be the bottom of your screen here on our broadcast, it's Greencastle out to the early lead with their backstroker, Vincent Martoglio. As we see the second legs now hitting the water, the breaststrokers. For Greencastle Central, it'll be Andrew Thiede. For West Lafayette, there in lane 4, Jackson Miller. And for Greenfield Central, be there up in lane 3, Drew Noah. Actually, Greenfield Central with the lead in lane 3.
Andrew Thiede now underway for Greencastle High School beat in lane 5.
So Greencastle with the lead here, second place, just touching halfway through. The breaststroke leg, Jackson Miller for West Lafayette. There'll be 2 more heats to follow here for the men in the 400-yard medley relay. Those of you who have not tuned into some of our previous broadcasts here at the Hall of Fame Swimming and Diving Classic, this is the 13th edition. These are going to be some non-traditional events, if you will, for the high school in terms of what they see throughout the regular season, some longer distances today. Getting ready now for the butterfly legs for Greenfield Central. The leader in lane 3, that's Jackson Peachin into the water. West Lafayette now enters with their butterflyer. That's William LeCount. And the butterflyer for Greencastle High School will be Nally once their breaststroker Andrew Thiede has finished. Commanding lead right now here in this opening heat for Greenfield Central High School. We're going to see some great competition here today. It is warm in the pool today as outside air temperatures are in the high 50s, but some great competition expected today. 27 participants swimming here today that competed in that we saw score points at last year's at the 2018 Indiana High School State Meet. Ready for the anchor leg now for Greenfield Central High School in lane 3. That's Michael Joven. And he's underway, swimming his 100 yards freestyle. Second place here in the first heat, West Lafayette B out in lane 4. And they'll come up on the exchange here in a moment. They're actually now in a battle with Greencastle High School for second place. Butterfly for Greencastle, Josh Nally.
Eli Josh Park for West Lafayette.
I checked that. Nally's still got 2 more lengths of the pool to go, so West Lafayette is in firm control of second place. So here comes your winning team here in Event 2, the men's 400-yard medley relay heat 1. It's going to be Greenfield Central High School B with a time of 3:52.68.
Eli Hardwick on the wall there. Correction, Michael Jobin for Greenfield.
And here comes West Lafayette freestyler. That's Josh Park. He's going to finish second in the heat for West Lafayette. His team will finish second. And we'll get that time here in a minute. The freestyler for Greencastle in lane 5 is Eli Hardwick. Looks like for West Lafayette in lane 4, 4:31.83. 4:06.50 is now the time to beat. This is the time final.
Eli Hardwick for Greencastle B in lane.
So as soon as Eli Hardwick finishes up, we'll move to heat 2 here. Chesterton, by the way, swept everything last year at the Hall of Fame Classic and won both the boys, the girls, and the combined scores. And they Chesterton outdistanced the host school, Franklin Community, in those competitions. Franklin Community finished in second, both the boys, girls, and overall combined team standings last year at the 2017 Indiana High School Swimming and Diving Hall of Fame Classic. We'll have diving later to come as well. We'll stop the broadcast momentarily and then move down to the diving well and bring that to you.
Greencastle on the wall.
So we're ready now for Heat 2, time finals, men's 400-yard medley relay in lane 1, which will be at the bottom of your screen here on our broadcast. Plainfield High School B led off by Eliza Johnson. Lane 2, Concord B led off by Derek Angel. Lane 3, Zionsville B, Graham Assam, the backstroker. Lane 4 will be West Lafayette High School A with Keegan Sheese. Lane 5, Concord A, Callaghan Finley. Lane 6, Floyd Central B, Connor Paris on leadoff, and in lane 6 will be Greencastle A with Ben Staggers on leadoff. Lane 8 is open. Backstrokers in the water, swimming 4 lengths of the pool here.
Get the bottom lane as much as you can.
Early lead after the first 50 up in lane 5 is Concord A, Callaghan Finley. He's one of those swimmers that I talked about in the Open as we came on the air that actually scored points at the 2018 high school state meet for Concord. So it'll be Concord B in lane, Concord A in lane 5. We got 2 Concord teams in this heat with the lead in lane.
Third position. On lane 3,
Heat 2 underway right now.
Lane 6, Jackson Bierman for Floyd Central B.
Breaststroker for Concord A is Jesse Sullivan in lane 5. Second place right next to him in lane 4 is West Lafayette A, breaststroker Josh Gordon. Third place in lane 3 right now is Zionsville B with the breaststroker Bradley Norris. And fourth place up in lane 6, Floyd Central B, is Jackson Bierman is the breaststroker. And a good battle shaping up now here on this breaststroke leg. Lanes 3 and 4 as Gordon is closed in on Concord Sullivan, who's in lane 5 here on this breaststroke leg. Butterfly leg coming up. We'll set the lane assignments for the butterflies here in a moment. Concord stretching back out the lead now in lane 3. Oh, excuse me, it's Zionsville. It's actually Zionsville in lane 3 with the lead right now. That's Caleb Barong with the lead. Let's take a look at the butterflies. For Plainfield B, it'll be Brian Lacrone. For Concord B, Connor Camacho. For Zionsville B, Caleb Barone. For West Lafayette A, Christian Gutwein. For Concord A, Laren Lees. For Floyd Central B, Tristan Deaton. And for Greencastle A, Jacob Foss. So Zionsville's taking over the lead right now in lane 2.
I don't see any of the other ones that are listed here. So what we're going to have to do is create diving. Archive this one. Don't final it. Archive this one. We'll create diving and go to diving. Just do 2.
So what? Actually, I was right the first time. It is Concord with the lead right now. And they are well, actually the caps look very, very similar between Concord and Zionsville. I think in lane 5 it is Concord with the lead. Here on the freestyle leg, and that would be Will Harris. Second place right next to him will be West Lafayette in lane 4. That's Jeremy Knipp. So it is Concord. Concord A in lane 5 wins heat 2. We'll get the winning time here. 3:52.54 for Concord A. Second place was West Lafayette A with a time of 3:54.36 in the heat. And third place in lane 6, Floyd Central B, at a time of 4:04.87. And now there'll be the third and final time finals heat here, the men's 400-yard medley relay coming up next. These will be the 8 fastest seeded teams.
What are you calling?
In lane 1, Greenfield Central A, led off by Samuel Jennings. Lane 2, Plainfield High School A, led off by Max Weiser. Lane 3, Franklin Community B, led off by Ethan Piper. Lane 4, Franklin Community A, led off by Cade Oliver. Lane 5, Chesterton High School A, led off by Alejandro Kincaid. Lane 6, Zionsville High School A, led off by Holden Bowles. Lane 7, Chesterton High School B. So let's reset the lane assignments here. Greenfield Central A in lane 1, led off by Samuel Jennings. Lane 2, Plainfield A, led off by Max Weiser. Lane 3, Franklin Community B, led off by Ethan Piper. Lane 4, Franklin Community A, led off by Cade Oliver. Lane 5, Chesterton High School A, led off by Alejandro Kincaid. Lane 6, Zionsville High School A, led off by Holden Bowles. Lane 7, Chesterton B, led off by Connor Casbon. And in lane 8, Floyd Central A, led off by Dalton Laver. So these are going to be 4 links to the pool backstroke here for the backstrokers. Then we'll go to breaststroke, butterfly, and freestyle. And we're underway here with the men's 400-yard medley relay, heat 3, third and final heat of time finals.
Meeting associate meet record 3:26.74 set back in 2016 by Zionsville High School. Pretty tough one to beat here tonight. Let's see if our top seed, that would be Franklin High School, Franklin Community High School at 3:30. It's got a shot at bringing down that record.
Well, early on here up in lane 5, after the first 50, it's going to be Chesterton with Alejandro Kincaid with the lead, followed closely in lane 4 by Franklin Community High School, Cade Oliver. They're neck and neck now as they go to the far end of the pool for their final turn here on this backstroke leg. And It looks like Cade Oliver in lane 4 for Franklin Community, maybe giving his team the lead now as we go to the breaststroke legs. Let's take a look at the breaststrokers for Greenfield Central A. It'll be Anthony Nagel. For Plainfield A, Brian Beasley. For Franklin Community B, Blake Raines. For Franklin Community A, Barrett Daly. For Chesterton A, Evan Dildine. For Zionsville A, Coleman Modlin. For Chesterton B, Danny Schmeigel. And for Floyd Central A, Carson Huber. And lane 4 still in the lead right now. It's Barrett Daly for Franklin Community, halfway through the breaststroke leg. Battle may be for second place now. Top of your screen, lanes 5 and 6, Chesterton A and Zionsville A on this breaststroke leg. As it looks like Coleman Modlin is making a nice move, getting himself into the picture now for the lead for his team.
Race tightens up here on the breaststroke leg.
And it looks like Modlin has moved Zionsville into second place. Now he's trying to haul in Barrett Daly for Franklin Community. I think he's going to overtake the lead.
Here's the advantage off this relay exchange. If you've got flyers in the water while breaststrokers, flyers in the air while breaststrokers are still in the water, that's how you maintain that lead.
So Zionsville A in the lead now in lane 6. Look at the butterflies. For Greenfield Central A is Samuel Logan. For Plainfield A, Jackson Van Wanziel. For Franklin Community B, Anthony Rise. For Franklin Community A, Jacob DeStramp. For Chesterton A, Andrew Alders. For Zionsville E, Corbin Kozad. For Chesterton B, Gabe Kroger. And for Floyd Central A, Christian Salinas. And Franklin Community has surged back in front now. They're 18 in lane 4 as Jacob DeStramp, an outstanding sprinter, has gotten his team back out in front.
Closing speed is the key to relay exchanges. If you watch the athletes at the back of the blocks, they're all doing step-ups or running starts for the relay exchanges.
Freestylers in the pool now. For Greenfield Central A, it's going to be Travis Black. For Plainfield A, Brock Kinnaman. For Franklin Community B, Shane O'Sullivan. For Franklin Community A, Max Kramer. For Chesterton A, Ethan Wing. For Zionsville A, Charlie Crone. For Chesterton B, Carter Casbon. And for Floyd Central A, Henry Lang. So the freestylers in the water right now in the lead halfway through the leg. In lane 4, Franklin Community A with Max Kramer. Second place, right beside him in lane 5 is Chesterton A with Ethan Wing.
Both were out almost 1/100th of a second difference between each of them on their first 50s.
Wing trying to bring his team back on this final length of the pool. I think he's going to run out of room here.
Meet record 3:26.74. I think they got it.
We'll wait officially to see what it says. That was Franklin Community taking the lead.
Nope, 3:32.73.
So they're off by a few seconds here. 3:32.73 for Franklin Community A, taking the win in the event 2, the men's 400-yard medley relay. Second place to Chesterton in lane 5 with a time of 3:33.93. Third place in lane 6 is Zionsville A with a time of 3:40.96.
In the women's 1,000 freestyle.
Next event is event 3, the women's 1,000-yard freestyle. It'll be the fourth and final heat of time finals. The other heats were swum in prelims this morning. In lane 1, Elise Heiser from Zionsville High School. Lane 2 is Caitlin Kogel from Chesterton High School. Lane 3, Kieran Stauffer from Concord High School. Lane 4, Lauren Undrup from Chesterton High School, the top seeded time with a time of 10:14.53 on the seed time. Lane 5, Mason Klimsick from Chesterton High School. Lane 6, Colleen Carey from Floyd Central High School. Lane 7 is Carly Logan from Greenfield High School. And in lane 8, Aaron Perkins from Floyd Central High School. This is a 1,000-yard freestyle. This will be a 40-length race.
So you see on our screen it says heat number 4. This is a time final event. That means 3 heats were swum previously during the day. We'll check on the fastest time that was swum earlier in the competition off our Meet Mobile. to give you an idea of what these athletes are shooting for here in the 1,000 freestyle.
I'm Eric Eaton, along with the Executive Director of Indiana Swimming, Tony Young, here from Franklin Community here today of the 13th Annual Indiana High School Swimming and Diving Hall of Fame Classic. Mike Miles, the voice of the pool deck here this afternoon. This is event 3 of the women's 1,000-yard freestyle, and these young ladies getting ready to complete their first 100 yards here. And up in lane 5 right now, Mason Klimzik from Chesterton, the early lead by more than a body length. And the battle for second, lanes 3 and 4 right now. Kieran Stauffer for Concord in 3 and Lauren Unruh for Chesterton in 4.
And you will notice on our scoreboard there's a little bit of a delay. It gives us the split, then it takes a few seconds to get to the time. So sometimes we'll give you the running times, and then other times we will kind of just keep the competition going because there's an exciting race going on. And it does look like lane number 5. And is that Klimzik?
Mason Klimzik from Chesterton.
Chesterton, she comes in with a 10:29.20 as her seed time. Meet record 10:18.99 set back in 2017 by Abby Johns of Fishers. Now it's twice the length of a high school traditional event. Now, most of these athletes that swim 500s in the dual meet competition or even at the high school state meets, this race is a little bit different. It isn't a 1650, it's not a mile. The athletes have a little bit more of a drive building into that first 500, and they almost try to negative split and almost even split their first half and second half of the race.
Now, some listeners, Tony, might wonder, swimming, we're just at the start of the season now for high school swimming 1,000 yards at the beginning of the season. Some might say, well, that sounds like that might be difficult at the beginning of the season. Maybe you haven't done a lot of training, but that wouldn't be the case. These teams have done a lot of training heading up to the start of the season, I would imagine.
And you're right, and many of these young ladies do swim year-round, so they're coming off of a very strong summer training. They know if they're going to be great in high school, they have to train during the summer. Their club teams are their foundation. The club team's the base. These athletes, before they even get to high school competition, have swum in numerous USA swimming competitions already, being fine-tuned before they ever hit the water. The 1,000 freestyle is not an event that's offered very often. So this is one of the creation of this meet format was by one of the senior chairs of Indiana Swimming that worked with the High School Association to kind of create a new format that was going to give athletes opportunities to swim college distance dual meet events, and that's exactly what you're seeing here today.
So we saw the leader Mason Klimzik in lane 5 just come through the 300-yard mark at the time of 3:03.61. A good battle for second, more towards the bottom of your screen, lanes 3 and 4 right now. That would be Kieran Stauffer and Lauren Unruh. And we're still in the front half of this race, Tony, but do Stauffer and Unruh got to be careful that maybe they don't continue to battle each other, which is what they're doing right now, and let Klimzik continue to pull away from them at this point in the race.
Well, I think athletes have to swim their own race in the 1,000. What we are seeing out there is races within the races. So as you mentioned, lanes 3 and 4, they can't worry about what's happening with the leader right now. They've got to swim their own race, their own strategies, and if the athlete next to them has a similar strategy, that's going to help them achieve the time they want to go. Being out there by themselves right now, and that's Madison right now, or Mason?
Mason, yeah.
Mason Klimzik in lane number 5. I mean, this young lady right now is swimming by herself. Now, the one thing that those athletes have to do when they're swimming by themselves is maybe focus a little bit more on their coach, not necessarily on the race because they don't see anybody next to them. But now when she's in the middle of this race coming up on her halfway point, which is the 500, her coach is going to start signaling her, whether it's rotating his arms, telling her to increase, or having her increase her kick just a little bit to be able to increase her tempo. He's going to ask her to take the next step in this race coming up right after this 500 split. We'll give you the 500 split here in a second as soon as it pops up on our scoreboard.
And as you said, the coach, Kevin Kendall, I see him down on the sideline. He'll either raise his arms, he might whistle. Could he also signal the young lady who's got the board counter to actually maybe pick her up as well if he needs to?
Well, those lap counters, a great point. Lap counters down at the end of the pool are not just something to tell the athletes where are they in the competition. That signaling back and forth gives the athletes, they're talking through their coach. And their coach will tell the athlete, if the lap counter moves it over to the right-hand side of the lane, move with the lap counter. If he moves it back to the left, there's a lot of drafting that can go on within a swimming race. And that drafting is just like NASCAR. If somebody gets up on your hip and you're breaking the water for them, it makes it quite easy for them to catch up to you. 5:11.14 is the split for our leader.
She will turn at the near end of the start block end of the pool. 22 lengths completed now for Mason Klimczyk in lane 5 from Chesterton. Opening up the distance a little bit now for second place in lane 3 is Kieran Stauffer from Concord. She turns at lap 22, and now in third place in lane 4, Lauren Unruh from Chesterton. And fourth place, I think, in lane 1, at the very bottom of your screen, is Elise Heiser from Zionsville.
So as you're sitting up here on the side, and we're going to evaluate how they're doing in the water. One way is to watch the clock. We can see whether or not they're the fastest swimmer in the pool. We watch the split here by our leader. And our leader right now is a 31.79. If you see some of the other times on the board, she is a good 2 seconds ahead of everybody else. So she's the fastest swimmer in the pool. And the second place swimmer is 32.68 in lane 3. So it shows you not only within the race, you can see who the fastest swimmers are or if they're picking up their pace. The other thing is to watch their efficiency. Now, Mason right now is taking 16 strokes per length. Now, 16 strokes per length, what does that mean? That means she's very efficient to go fast and keep her stroke that long, and being able to take that least amount of strokes, under 20 strokes per length, under 17. She is really, really efficient, which means that she's going to have more energy at the end of the race. Efficiency is about great stroke, good strategy, and then being able to conserve energy as you're going fast. It's called easy speed at the beginning of most races.
So she's basically got a double advantage now as we get towards the tail end of this race, Tony. Not only has she opened up a big lead, but she's also been able to conserve energy throughout that first half of the race as well, which in theory should make it easier for her to maintain the lead, you would think.
Yes, and she's 31.79, but goes back to your question. If you don't have somebody to race against, how does that keep your focus? She was a few tenths off on that split compared to what she'd been doing. And at the back half of the race, you're watching your coach, of course, but when you're by yourself, things start going through your head. My legs are tightening up. My stroke doesn't feel right. So that's why the coach is there, to keep them focused, try to keep them connected. A great race or somebody that's next to you, pushing you the entire way, you just think about who's next to you and your best effort.
So Mason Klimczyk from Chesterton, still the leader out in lane 5 as she heads towards the far end of the pool. Second place in lane 3 right now, Kieran Stauffer from Concord. And then third place in lane 4, Lauren Unruh from Chesterton. And in fourth place still in lane 1, nothing changed in the top 4 here, Elise Heiser from Zionsville. As we focus back to the leader again, Klimczyk in 5. Getting ready to turn on lap 32 here, which is the 800-yard mark.
We're not able to pull up the time swum from the morning. So remember, in a time final event, these young ladies that are seated in the top 8 got the honor of the parade of athletes off their seat times. They did not have to swim this event in the morning session. Now, that being said, the young ladies in the afternoon have the opportunity to move up into the top 8 position and score points in the top 8. Here's our leader. Let's check her split here. 32-31. Again, this is where, kind of in the back half of this race when you want to be picking up, this is where training comes into play and the focus comes into play, and keeping engaged within the race and trying to maintain that same pace within tenths of seconds. Now, the other thing that coaches will do is they will sometimes put their athletes in the morning session so they don't have to swim this race starting out the evening. And that means they can concentrate on their other races. So coaches use strategies in different ways.
So Klimczyk making the turn here in lane 5, the leader, starting block ends. Second place heading to the starting block end to make her turn here. That's Stauffer from Concord. So as we see now, Klimczyk now heading towards the starting block end of the pool here in lane 5, the leader. She's going to come up and hear the bell, which will signal to her 50 yards left in this race, the 1,000.
Now, take a look at our leader, Mason, right now. You can still see a good, strong kick at the end of the race. So she's still got some legs left. If she was really being pushed up and down that pool, I think she'd be bringing those times down. Very strong off the walls. You look at her push-offs off the walls out to the flags. So good, strong legs, not only in the kick, but good, strong legs on her push-offs at the end of a race. Indicates she's well-trained.
So here comes Mason to the wall to take the win here in Heat 4. Women's 1,000-yard freestyle. A time final. And it looks like 10:25:37 is the time she posts.
She's in lane 5.
Check that, 10:30.
61.
10:30:61.
Second place was lane number 3.
Kieran Stauffer takes second in lane 3. 10:44:14.
Good race here at the end in lanes numbers 6 and 7. That's Carrie and Logan. Oh, here we go. No breathing inside the flags. No breathing in either one of them. Great finish, ladies.
Third place in lane 4 went to Lauren Unruh in that heat with a time of 10:57:34. Once again, the winning time was 10:30:61 in lane 5 by Mason Klinsick from Chesterton. Next event will be event 4, the men's 1,000-yard freestyle. That'll come up here in a moment.
All right, all our women into the wall now. Let's bring out.
And we'll set those lane assignments in a moment. Here are the lane assignments. Men's 1,000-yard freestyle event 4. In lane 1 will be Matt Bond from Concord High School. Lane 2, Gabe Eschbach from Chesterton High School. Lane 3, Jack Donovan from Zionsville High School. Lane 4 is the top-seeded swimmer, Lucas Punty from Chesterton High School. Lane 5 will be Samuel Jennings from Greenfield High School. Lane 6, Eric Carlson from Chesterton High School. Lane 7, Dylan Freiberger from Floyd Central High School. Lane 8, Andrew Dollins from Zionsville High School. Again, this is 40 lengths of the pool. Punty was entered with a time of 9:35:02 in lane 4. Your meet record 9:21:83. Pretty old record, goes back to 2009, set by Kyle Whitaker of Chesterton.
Yeah, I think we watched Kyle swim many years in this meet. One of the most decorated swimmers in Indiana history, both in the high school and at the club level. National team member, high school state champion, brought home a state title to Chesterton as well. So that 9:21 is a time that many of the athletes will strive towards, and it's great to have. If you ask Kyle, he'd say, I want people to break my records because he wants that target out there. In particular, he'd love to see an athlete from Chesterton break that record, right?
Sure. Still rooting for his Trojans, even though he's since graduated, and as Tony said, one of the most decorated high school swimmers ever in the state of Indiana.
Lucas Punty with a 28:96. Now, as we watch this race, we're going to kind of look and see, is this a strategic race? Is this an athlete that is going out trying to break a record? Now, when you watch Kyle, it was kind of interesting. It wasn't difficult to tell that he was out trying to break a record. So these athletes here right now, we're looking at a little bit of a strategic heat. So the athletes are going to kind of watch each other out of the corner of their eye. You look at lane number 5 over there, that is Jennings, kind of snugging up next to that lane line, knowing that he could get a little bit of a draft on the way out. Maybe that'll help his momentum on the way out. So we see a good race right now in lanes 4, 5, and 6 for the lead. And let's watch the back half of the race this time. Let's take a look at our leaders, first 500 and second 500, and let's see how the strategy unfolds.
So we got Lucas Punty in lane 4 with the lead as we come up on the completion of the 200-yard mark. In lane 4, second place in lane 5 is Samuel Jennings from Greenfield, although right beside him in lane 6, Eric Carlson from Chesterton is in third. And then a pretty good battle at the bottom of your screen, lanes 1 and 2, Matt Bond and Gabe Eschbach battling for fourth.
Splits on the way out. Your leader, 155.01 in lane number 4. That's Lucas Punty. We'll try to periodically set some splits up on the board for you. The delay on the clock would just kind of let that take too much time away from the actual video and watching the athletes in the water. So we'll kind of pick strategic splits to show you in the 1,000. 500 might be our next one. So let's keep an eye on the splits right now. Watch who's the fastest athlete in the pool by the splits on the scoreboard. You can kind of see just a little bit of that if you're watching at home. You can see the scoreboard in the background of the shots as well. Here at beautiful Franklin Community High School. What a great facility to train in.
Looks like in lane 6, Eric Carlson has just nosed ahead of Samuel Jennings for second place there on that turn.
Right. Lucas is the only swimmer right now under 29 or under 30 seconds at a 29.98.
He's the race leader in lane 4 from Chesterton. Swimmers settling in now in this front half of this race in the men's 1,000-yard freestyle. Puente with the lead, lane 4. Second place in lane 6, Eric Carlson. Third place in lane 5 is Samuel Jennings. And in fourth place now is starting to break away from the rest of the field. In fourth in lane 1 is Matt Bond, as he was kind of in a battle with a couple other swimmers early on, but he's now separated himself and now may try and set his sights on those top 3.
Let's take a look at Eric Carlson over there in lane number 2 or 6. Let's kind of watch him as he flips his turn. I saw him start to pick up his races. He's building into his first 500. He probably just happens to be Lucas's training partner, if you think, right? Both from Chesterton.
Could be, yes.
All right, 30.41 and 30.65 for the two Chesterton boys in 4 and 6. And I think Eric right now, breathing out of his right side, is looking for his teammate, using him as incentive. So you've got to have a great training partner in an event like this daily. And what that does is not only keep you coming to practice, but it keeps you honest. If your training partner pushes you every day, you don't have you have no recourse but to keep pushing against your training partner. We're coming up after this 50, 30.26 for Lucas, 30.96 for Eric. So those are the two fastest swimmers in the pool right now. Lucas looking pretty strong right now. I'm going to do a stroke count how as they come into the 500 at the next 25.
Puente turns at the far end. The leader, second place is Tony Sid Carlson in 6, and third place in lane 5 is Samuel Jennings.
Halfway coming up here for Lucas Puente and Chesterton.
Halfway this time.
Looking long and stretched out.
15 strokes for length for your leader. That's pretty solid efficiency right there. 30.38. Let's take a look at the 500 splits here. Popping up on the scoreboard, you can see our leader, 30.38 on that 50 split. He's under 5 minutes, 3:56.11. So is his teammate. It's 4:59.79. On the back half here, so we're looking at a 4:56 first 500. Let's see if he can hold pretty close to staying under 30 seconds or right at 30 seconds low as he works his way back through the back half of this race.
So nothing really changing in the top 4. Puente with the lead. Second place Carlson, and third place Jennings, and fourth place in lane 1 is Matt Bond. And still watching Bond to see if he can make a move perhaps on Jennings for that third spot.
And it's hard, we apologize on your screen if you're watching from home. Lane 1 is at the bottom of your screen, lane 8 is at the top of your screen. So it's flip-flop from the scoreboard. So if you're looking at home, lane 1 on the scoreboard is the closest to the camera. Lane 8 is the farthest from the camera. So it's actually opposite when you're watching it from home. Remember, lane 1 is at the bottom of your screen, lane 8 at the top.
Well, Tony, what are your thoughts now on Eric Carlson in second place now? He was able to get away from Jennings for third, but in your mind, does he look like he's stabilized to a point where he might be able to make a move on Puente or not, or is Puente still pulling ahead of him a little bit?
No, Lucas is starting to build through the back half of his race, starting to bring his tempo is increased. So if you're looking at home, we're talking about tempo. Coaches will measure the stroke rate by when their right hand enters the water, they go through a left arm pull and then back to their right hand. So that's a stroke cycle. They'll actually time that on the stopwatch, and they'll give the athlete, here's what kind of stroke rate I want you on the back half of this swim. And his rate improved on that back half, but again, they've got to hold it through the back half of this race. So he's trying to stay under the 1:01, 1 minute and 1 second mark on the back half. And he dropped off to 30.6, but over there in lane 6, Jennings is 31.0. So still looking to try to break 10 minutes. He's 6:58 at 6:58.08 at the 700 mark. We got 300 to go. Now here's where closing speed comes into play. And closing speed is going to be that last 150, not the last 50. I think a lot of people think, well, everybody sprinted the last 50. Well, coaches are thinking, swim downhill, close the part of the race out, break the swimmer next to you. If they're close to you, start your move earlier. They're expecting you to do it on the last 50. Start your move earlier and break away and see if you can close out that race. And this is what they do at practice on an ongoing basis.
So Lucas Piunti now in the middle of the pool in lane 4 in that white cap. When he makes the turn here at the starting block end, have 800 yards down, 200 left.
See what his split is here, 30.57. He's right at the 101 mark. He's going to have to get that race home down under 2 minutes on the last 200 of this race to be able to get down and break that 10-minute barrier. He's at 7:59.39.
So Carlson with about a body and a half length lead over Jennings for second here in the 1,000. Fourth place in lane 1 is still Matt Bond.
Picking it up pretty strong right here in lane number 5. Coming back on this back half of this race is also Samuel Jennings from Greenfield.
So Piunti in the middle of the pool now as he heads back towards the starting block in and make the turn with 100 yards left now in this 1,000. 4 lengths of the pool left.
30.84 for Lucas. And these guys make swimming fast look easy. That's what efficiency is. And when they're on the back half of this swim and they just look like it's easy and they're pulling through very strong, keeping 15, 16 strokes per length, that's something they have to train to do. Amazing that within the middle of a distance race, you will watch Lucas and you will watch Samuel and you will watch Eric all pick up their tempo pace. Let's watch and see what he splits here. Can he get down under that 10-minute barrier? He's 30.3. He's going to have to get way down under 30 seconds here to break that 10-minute mark. But you can see that he did pick his race up. Yep, come on, he's got to go 28 high to be able to break this. He's got to really, really push this last 25.
So we'll see if he can do it. Here comes Lucas Piunti, the leader in lane 4, and he'll be the winner of the 4th and final heat. And he stops the clock.
29.76 on the last split. Let's see what that final time is.
10:00:87, so he just misses getting under 10 minutes. Second place in lane 6 went to Piunti's teammate Eric Carlson, also from Chesterton, 10:10:03. And third place in lane 5 to Samuel Jennings with a time of 10:12:20. And fourth place in lane 1, Matt Bond with a time of 10:19:09. The next event will be the women's 100-yard individual medley. Here from Franklin Community High School at the 2018 Swimming and Diving Hall of Fame Classic. And we still have a swimmer to finish, and so swimming is complete there in the 1,000, and then they'll bring out the swimmers for the women's 1,000 or 100-yard IM. Lane assignments for the women's 100-yard individual medley. This event determined by prelims this morning. In lane 1, Michaela Miller from Concord. Lane 2, Maddie Sheese from West Lafayette. Lane 3, Jacqueline Clemson from Chesterton. Lane 4, Devin Kitchell from Zionsville, the top seed. Lane 5, Allie Terrell from Franklin Community. Lane 6, Olivia Trout from Concord High School. Lane 7, Aaliyah Hensley from Franklin Community. And lane 8, Ellie Gilkerson from Plainfield. Kitchell in lane 4 from Zionsville swam a 1:00:11 in prelims this morning. So this will go quick. We'll get it started with butterfly here.
Love to see a sub 1 minute 100 IM here. And if you notice the top seed, Devin Kitchell, and you mentioned her in lane number 4, the top seed, the record happens to be held by her sister, Kate Kitchell, who is a senior at Purdue University, one of the most decorated swimmers in Purdue swimming history.
Tate swam 58.26 in this event.
Yep, that's pretty tough. Oh, she's out fast. 27.76, but barely being pushed over there in lane number 5.
Now the breaststrokers, and not a lot of time for anybody to make up a bunch of time here on the breaststroke, like only swimming 25.
Nope, then the transitions, the turns right here, they're called transitions in the IM, and Kitchell came off the wall like a rocket.
A second place right next to her, just above her, Allie Terrell from Franklin Community.
Can she get under? Oh, right at it.
Devin Kitchell in lane 4 from Zionsville takes the win. We'll get the time here in a moment. The scoreboard will transition through from the splits to the actual race time. 1:00:19 for Devin Kitchell. Second place in lane 5 to Allie Terrell with a time of 1:01:28. And third place in lane 3, Jacqueline Klinzik from Chesterton, a time of 1:01:94. Lane assignments for event 6, men's 100-yard individual medley final. In lane 1, Gabe Kroger from Chesterton. Lane 2, Declan Tharp from Chesterton. Lane 3, Callaghan Finley from Concord. Lane 4, Kate Oliver from Franklin Community, the top seed. Lane 5, Max Weiser from Plainfield High School. Lane 6, Coleman Modlin from Zionsville. Lane 7, Max Kramer from Franklin Community. And Lane 8, Ethan Pfeiffer from Franklin Community, top seed. Kate Oliver in lane 4, 54:08 his time. And prelims meet record set in 2016 by Andrew Schuler of Zionsville, 52:31.
And as I mentioned in the last heat, what the athletes are doing here in the 100 IM is called transition turns. And that means changing one stroke to the next. And if you think that's easy, changing muscle groups from a short axis stroke to a long axis stroke, back to a short axis stroke to a long axis stroke, and do it fast, plus be explosive on the turns, that's what makes these athletes so special.
Lane 4, actually lanes 3 and 4 turn pretty much right together. Callaghan Finley and Kate Oliver.
Oh, we got a race going on here. Look at the breaststroker out there in lane number 6. That's Modlin. And you were talking about how difficult it was to be able to make a move on breaststroke. He did there, but can he hang on?
Yeah, in lane 6, Coleman Modlin. Looks like in lane 4, Oliver trying to come back, but he's not going to be able to get there. The winner in lane 6 is Coleman Modlin from Zionsville. And he made that move on that breaststroke 25, and winning time 54:11 for Coleman Modlin. Second place in lane 4, Kate Oliver, 54:75, and third place in lane 5, Max Weiser from Plainfield with a time of 54:87.
Now that was fun.
That was a fun race for a short, quick IM.
Freestyle.
There are 8 participants for the women's 200-yard freestyle event 7, the final. In lane 1, Carly Logan from Greenfield High School. Lane 2, Kylie Knutson from Plainfield High School. Lane 3 is Grace Brenneman from Concord. Lane 4 is Veronica Osmiak from Chesterton. Lane 5, Mason Klinzik from Chesterton. We just saw her win the 1,000. In lane 6, or heave the 1,000 anyway. In lane 6, Sarah Hoffman from Franklin Community. Lane 7, Caitlin Kogel from Chesterton. And lane 8, Paige Lawrence from Franklin Community. Osmiak from Chesterton, the top seed. 155.78 is what she swam in prelims this morning. And your meet record set in 2010 by Chesterton's Olivia Kevzinski 1:52.89 is that time.
Olivia, one of our top swimmers in Indiana high school in club history, swam at the University of Iowa, had a tremendous swimming career. The 200 freestyle, one of the tougher events to swim. It takes speed, it takes strength, it takes strategy to be able to be good at this race, not just finish it. But you watch the athletes here that are really strong in this particular discipline will build into that first 75. The next 50 they'll go a little bit faster. The next 50 they'll focus on driving and then just race the last 25. You will see the best 200 freestylers not always be in the lead at the 100.
Right now it's Sarah Hoffman in lane 6 from Franklin Community with the lead. About a body length lead, so she's feeling pretty comfortable right now, Tony, here on the front half of this race as she gets ready to complete her first 100 here, swimming in her home pool.
We're starting to see our first double right here. Mason Klimzak, who just swam the 1,000 and 15 minutes later jumped into the 200 freestyle.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. She's in a battle for second right now. Literally lanes 3, 4, and 5. Brenneman, Osmik, and Klimzak battling for second right now behind the leader in lane 6, Sarah Hoffman.
Sarah Hoffman looks strong building into the 150 right now. She splits at 29.48, and she is the fastest swimmer in the pool by almost a full second.
Watching lane 4 now, Osmik, the top seed, has moved into second place, but I don't know if she has enough pool left to haul in Hoffman, who still looks strong in lane 6.
Good strong walls by Hoffman, out past the flags on her push-off.
Hoffman went right after it, and she's going to take the win here in the 200-yard freestyle. Good battle second here, as we'll get Hoffman's winning time. Second place, bang, bang for second between Osmik and the swimmer from Concord, Brenneman. We'll have to check the clock, see who got that position. Hoffman's time, 1:55.31 to take the win. Second place in lane 3 went to Grace Brenneman, who had a great close to that race. Gets second, 1:58.49, and third place in lane 4 was Veronica Osmik with a time of 1:58.63.
As we now bring out the championship final.
The final here for the men's 200-yard freestyle event 8. 8 participants. In lane 1, Charlie Crone from Zionsville High School. Lane 2, Keegan Shees from West Lafayette High School. Lane 3, Ethan Wing from Chesterton. Lane 4, Jacob DeScramp from Franklin Community. He's the top seed. Lane 5, Andrew Alders from Chesterton. Lane 6, Brock Kinneman from Plainfield. Lane 7, Eric Carlson from Chesterton. And lane 8, Henry Lang from Floyd Central High School. DeScramp ran a 1:42.62 in prelims this morning. Meet record set in 2012 by Blake Peroni of Chesterton. He was an Olympian at the Rio Games. His meet record time, 1:40.12.
Blake Peroni of Chesterton set the Hall of Fame Classic record of the men's 200 free in 2012. A mark of 140.12.
All right, key here is to be able to stay within yourself on that first 75. No matter how fast you want to go, you can't overextend yourself on that first 75. 23.86 on the way out for your leader, Jacob DeStramp.
Third in lane 5, Andrew Alders from Chesterton.
Yeah, he's gone out right after. He's more than a body length lead already.
And his team record, believe it, here is a 139.53. Here at Franklin Community High School. We're looking at the record board as we speak. Here's his split. He is a 25.89. Let's see how close he can come to that split and work towards that 140.12 mark.
Second place in lane 5 right now, Andrew Alders. In the battle for third right now, lanes 2 and 3. That would be Keegan Shees of West Lafayette and Ethan Wing of Chesterton.
All right, DeStramp's got to be right on that 25 mark again to be able to take down that record. Been pushed over there in lane number 5 now. That's Shees. Sorry, that is Alders. 26.98. Still the fastest swimmer in the pool. Coming on strong, though, is Alders at 27.00 on that split.
And that battle for third really tight between Sheesh and the wing there, and 2 and 3 kind of blocked by the side of the pool. The swimmers standing up along the pool there by lane 1. But right now, DeStramp now coming towards the touchpad to stop the clock. We'll see what he wins the event in.
Alders finishes with a 26.68. He was the fastest closer in the group.
DeStramp 1:43.72 to take the win for Franklin Community. Second place in lane 5 will be Andrew Alders at the time of 1:45.49. And in third place in lane 2, Keegan Sheese with a time of 1:48.21. So he wins that battle for third place. Next event, event 9, women's 50-yard butterfly. Your 8 finalists in lane 1, Alana Jardinell from Chesterton High School. Lane 2, Sophia Trout from Concord. Lane 3, Devin Kitchell from Zionsville. Lane 4, the top seed, Carla Gildersleeve from Franklin Community. Lane 6, Maddie Sheesh from West Lafayette. Lane 6, Sophia Gill from Chesterton. Lane 7 is Izzy Hamilton from Zionsville High School. Lane 8, Jillian Dawson from Concord High School. Gildersleeve slammed a 26.21 in prelims. Your meet record, Vanessa Krause set it in 2015 from Chesterton, 25.23. And Tony, this is going to be a fun race here. You don't see it a lot, the 50-yard fly.
Let's watch the underwater kicking distance. 15 meters as far as they can go, and the strongest kicker off the start and breakout was in lane number 4, and that was Gildersleeve.
Off the wall they come, under the wave, up on top.
Gildersleeve in 4, and it looks like in lane 3 right now, Kitchell as well doing battle. But I think Gildersleeve's going to be too much in lane 4 from Franklin Community. 26.03 for Carla Gildersleeve. Second place in lane 3 to Devin Kitchell of Zionsville, 26.63. And third place in lane 5, Maddie Sheese out of West Lafayette High School in a time of 27.01. Here are your lane assignments for event number 10, the men's 50-yard butterfly final. In lane 1, Tristan Deaton from Floyd Central High School. Lane 2, Gabe Kroger from Chesterton. Lane 3, Connor Casbon from Chesterton. Lane 4, the top seed, Shane O'Sullivan from Franklin Community High School. Lane 5, Jackson Von Wanzeel from Plainfield High School. Lane 6, Travis Black of Greenfield. Lane 7, Jack Donovan of Zionsville. Lane 8, Will Harris of Concord. O'Sullivan swam at 24.10. This morning, your meet record set in 2012 by Aaron Whitaker of Chesterton, 22.68. That's really quick. For a 50 fly.
50 fly is one of those events that you need for the 200 medley relay. So somebody shows potential in this heat. Coaches are thinking, how do I mix and match that 200 medley relay?
Aaron Whitaker of Chesterton set the Hall of Fame Classic record for this event in 2012 in a 22.68. Look at these guys out here. Really close there for the first 25.
We'll see who has the advantage, maybe in the middle. O'Sullivan,
lane 6.
Gonna be a bang, bang. Looks like maybe O'Sullivan, he does take it in lane 4 in his home pool. Shane O'Sullivan with the time of 24.12.
He was pretty excited about that.
Sure was. Second place in lane 6, Travis Black from Greenfield, 24.45. And third place in lane 5 was Jackson Van Wanzeel from Plainfield, a time of 24.54. next event, event 11, women's 200-yard backstroke final. In lane 1, Aaliyah Hensley from Franklin Community. Lane 2, Maddie Elliott, Chesterton High School. Lane 3, Scarlett Friend from Franklin Community. Lane 4, the top seed, Jacqueline Klimzik from Chesterton High School. Lane 5, Elise Heiser from Zionsville. Lane 6, Lauren Thompson from Floyd Central. Lane 7, Izzy Hamilton of Zionsville. And lane 8, Maddie Billings of Chesterton. And your time swum by Klimzik this morning, 2:06.80. Tessa Wrights, and now the Zionsville holds the meet record set in 2016 in a time of 2:03.17. So this is a 200-yard backstroke event. It will be 8 lengths to the pool. So 8 lengths to the pool here for these women in the 200-yard backstroke. As I said, Jacqueline Klimzik in lane 4 of Chesterton, the top seed.
So what makes this a little challenging, you watch the ladies that are in the water, toes have to be underneath the water. You watch them grab the starting block rail and watch the blind start backwards. They keep, realistically, when you watch these young ladies, a very athletic move. It's almost like a back bend throw into a back handspring, whatever the case may be. Very athletic move to get the race started because they're not elevated, so they have to create all their power from that start itself.
A lot more turns in this race, Tony, than these young ladies are used to in a normal 100-yard backstroke.
Now, you're watching one of the, some great efficiency over there in lane number 4, that is Jacqueline Klimzik. Watch the distance off the walls, not just off the start. As she hits the wall, she's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kicks halfway down the pool off her first 2 turns. And that is part of racing strategy. The more that you become elite in this sport, that becomes racing. It's not about turning the arms over on top of the water. So she's developing some great racing skills. A little shorter on that kick out. As they get more elite, they've got to hold that same amount of kicks at that same speed all the way through the race.
We come up on the halfway mark here. A great battle. Lanes 3 and 4, Scarlett Friend out of Franklin Community, and as Tony talked about, Jacqueline Klimzik at Chesterton, they're battling for the lead right now.
31:42 for your leader over there in lane number 4. And again, here's where the tempo increases on every 200 freestyle, 200 fly, 200 back, 200 breast. Coaches are asking them to build their legs and build their tempo on the back half. Klimzik's still strong, maybe 9-10 meters off the wall, off her underwater kicks. Let's see if she can sustain that on that last 50.
Is Friend maybe a little stronger in the open water in the middle of the pool?
Let's see, at least more efficient. I don't know if she's stronger. She's pulling more water, so let's see what happens. You can see how Klimzik makes the move to come back into the race.
A Friend with the lead, a slight lead in lane 3 from Franklin Community over Jacqueline Klimzik.
Let's see if the race tightens up here through the underwater work again. I would say that Friend right now is the one that's pulling the most water. In other words, she's catching that water right at the top of her stroke and getting some great pulls through.
Reaches for the wall, and Scarlett Friend of Franklin Community will take the win here in lane 3. We'll get the time here, women's 200-yard backstroke. 2:04.54 for Scarlett Friend. Second place to Jacqueline Klimzik out of Chesterton with a time of 2:06.20. And third place in lane 5 was Lauren Thompson, 2:10.02 from Floyd Central. Here are your 8 finalists. Event 12, men's 200-yard backstroke. In lane 1, Danny Schmeigel from Chesterton. Lane 2, Holden Bowles from Zionsville. Lane 3, Alejandro Kincaid out of Chesterton. Lane 4, the top seed, Kate Oliver from Franklin Community. Lane 5, Lucas Pianti from Chesterton. Lane 6 is Callaghan Finley from Concord High School. Lane 7, Dalton Lava from Floyd Central High School. Lane 8, Samuel Jennings out of Greenfield High School. Kate Oliver, the top seed, with a time of 1:55 even. A meet record set in 2007 by Kyle Whitaker. Chesterton, that time is 150.60.
So some great racing going on in the heat, the women's heat. Let's see, watch the men, watch the power off the blocks. They've got to create a clean hole for their bodies to follow through, just like they would off the top of the block. And that gives them that momentum to carry them through. Now the body line underwater is huge here. Now let's watch the turn, see who kicks out. It maintains that underwater racing, but they've got to maintain body line. And body line is not just kicking. Body line means it's not just streamlining. It's all the way through the body.
Kate Oliver in lane 4 will have the lead at the 50. He's just a freshman from Franklin Community and has obviously got the top seed. Came in as the top seed in this event.
Great underwater work over there in lane number 5. That's Lucas Punti. Where this pays off is if they go to that next level in college, that you watch a collegiate meet. Sometimes in these races, these swimmers are going 15 meters off every wall underwater racing.
Halfway mark, Kate Oliver from Franklin Community will have the lead. Second place in lane 3, right below him, will be Alejandro Kincaid of Chesterton. And in third place in lane 5 now, Lucas Pianti from Chesterton.
Kate Oliver with a 100 split, 55.93.
Oliver looks like he's continuing to pull away now in the middle of the pool. Opened up more than a body length lead.
He's 55 at the 100 split. Coming on strong over here in lane number 3.
That's Kincaid.
Again, Alejandro Kincaid from Chesterton. These again are collegiate distance dual meet events. Now these young men and young ladies will swim these events throughout their club season, preparing them for that. If they're planning on making those moves to try to become a great Division I or Division II or Division III qualified national swimmer, they need to learn these distances. 27.9
takes the win. We've got a great battle for second. I think it may go to Pianti in lane 5 of Chesterton. We'll take a look at the final results here, at least in the top 4. Winning time for Kate Oliver in lane 4, 152.94. Second place in lane 5 is Lucas Pianti with the time of 156.93. Third place in lane 3, Alejandro Kincaid, 157.24.
Once again, need to make sure we got all of our.
All right, back to the splash and dash.
Now we're going to go to the 50 freeze up next. They'll be up here in a moment. Lane assignments, event 13, women's 50-yard freestyle final. In lane 1 will be Jada Eisenhower from Chesterton High School. Lane 2 is Lucy Ho from Franklin Community. Lane 3, Veronica Osmick from Chesterton. Lane 4, the top seed, Gracie Payne out of Franklin Community. Lane 5 is Grace Brenneman out of Concord. Lane 6, Michaela Miller of Concord. Lane 7, Sophia Gill of Chesterton. And lane 8, Anna Fireball of Zionsville. Gracie Payne with a 24.59 in prelims. Meet record set in 2015 by Vanessa Krause of Chesterton. That time, 23.68. Here we go.
23.68.
Great dive and breakout in lane number 4. Got the early lead off, the momentum off the start. No breath on the first 25. Great turn over there in 5, though. That rotation of that turn over there in lane number 5, that was Grace Brenneman from Concord, and that may give her the push she needs.
And it will. Grace Brenneman of Concord, a winning time of 24.48. Second place in the 50 in lane 6 to Michaela Miller of Concord. And Concord goes 1-2, 24.76 from Miller. Third place in lane 4 was Gracie Payne of Franklin Community in a time of 24.78.
All right, parade of athletes for the 50 freestyle upcoming.
For the men. Lane assignments, event 14, men's 50-yard freestyle final. In lane 1, Keegan Sheese, West Lafayette High School. Lane 2 is Declan Tharp, Chesterton. Lane 3, Travis Black, Greenfield. Lane 4, Jacob DeStramp from Franklin Community. Lane 5, Max Weiser from Plainfield. Lane 6, Ethan Wing of Chesterton. Lane 7, Shane O'Sullivan from Franklin Community. Lane 8, Barrett Daly from Franklin Community. DeStramp swam at 21.52 in prelims to take the top seed. Kyle DeCourcy out of Zionsville set the meet record in 2014. That time, 20.74.
Watch the explosive power. Watch the back foot kick up off the start. Gives them that clean body line into the water. Lane number 5. Stramp gets into the turn quickly. Really tucked his head, got his hips up quickly, and heels to the wall. That pushed him out into the lead.
And I think he's going to make everything hold up here and take the win. In lane 4, Jacob DeStramp, 21.56, the winning time. Second place in lane 5 was Max Weiser, 21.93. And in third place in lane 3, Travis Black with a time of 22.19.
Okay, now we're on to diving. We are going to be transitioning our broadcast to the other end of the pool. We will take a break. You will have to log back in to be able to watch diving, and then back to our final swimming session.
So we're going to take a short break. We'll be back in a moment with diving, and you'll need